Hi, Didar again. Welcome to video 2 in the series Millionaire Mindset, the relationship between wealth and courage. It's easy to understand why courage is in the profile of our self-made millionaires. Overcoming life's obstacles, reaching the top tier income levels, takes brave actions at some point, and especially the ability to overcome fears. Now, millionaires have developed certain techniques and traits that help them overcome their fears and become successful. It takes courage. In the first video, we learned about the two most important traits they have in common, one being hard work and believing in oneself. The only place success comes before work is in the dictionary. You have to work at it. To be successful, unless you're an entertainer or a professional athlete or you have an inheritance, you're like the rest of us. You have to work for it. And to develop that mindset to become successful is overcoming fears and developing courage. In America, 18% of households are led by self-employed people. Why so few? Well, the fear of economic failure is hard to overcome. These people suffer from the what ifs. What if they become self-employed and their business has no sales? What if their business and capital go down the drain? What if they can't support their families? What if their friends, relatives, and neighbors found out that their business was a failure? Well, failure, the risk of failure is always going to be there. But self-employed people who are successful and millionaires developed techniques to overcome their fears and become successful. Now, before I go on to the next three common traits millionaires have to overcome their risks, I want to tell you a story about Mr. Benjamin. Mr. Benjamin paid for his children's tuition. He sent his kids to the most prestigious private schools in America, medical schools, graduate schools. He paid for everything. Room and board, tuition, all the expenses. And who was this man who had the ability and the forthwith to pay these high tuition bills to send his kids to very prestigious schools? Was he a highly paid physician? Was he CEO of the public corporation? Well, when Mr. Benjamin retired as a bus driver, a school bus driver, a low-paying job, he had spent his money on the most expensive schools in America for his children. And when his children were very young, he realized how very bright they were and how they would benefit from a top-tiered education. But how was he going to fund this education? He worried about this for a long time. And one day, he realized that he had to start a self-discovery reading program focusing on investments in order to have a chance to earn the money to send his kids to these great schools. So Mr. Benjamin focused on investing. As a bus driver, he had a lot of downtime, one of the side benefits of being a school bus driver, while his other school bus driver friends had lunch, had drank coffee, took a nap, read magazines, read newspapers, chatted. He used his time wisely. He read about all kinds of investments. He read about precious metals, he read about real estate, he read about public offerings, bonds, and he realized that with an adjustment for inflation and taxes, that stocks were the best investment to make in the long run to earn this kind of money. So he began studying stocks, and he really made an effort to become an expert in his field, which he did. He studied public corporations and their offerings, and he chose his stocks wisely. and he was in it for the long run. Now, most people get in late and come out early, and that's why they lose their money. But Mr. Benjamin was a long-term investor. He rarely sold a stock less than 10 years. Through thick and thin, through ups and downs, through all the turmoils of the market, he kept on to his picks. And he rode the market for many, many years and became an expert in investing. And this investing helped his children to become doctors. So what's the point of this story? Well, Mr. Benjamin had to develop the courage to make these investments in the atmosphere of the stock market, not guaranteeing anything. The stock market goes up, it goes down. There's no guarantee of any income. A lot of times the mood is panic and fear. So by having this self-development program of reading, he learned the knowledge that it took to become a success as an investor. Now, getting the knowledge is power, and power overcomes fears. And that's why after he retired as a low-paying bus driver, he had net worth in excess of $3 million, and that's after paying his children's tuition bills. Okay, now the next three common traits we find in millionaires and self-employed people who are successful are preparation, focusing on key issues, and being decisive. Preparation is a no-brainer. Every professional sports coach, entertainer, any successful businessman has to prepare and learn his craft to be successful and to make a top-tier income. For 30 years, I was a mortgage broker, and I was very successful, and I had no preparation in the beginning. I flew by the seat of my pants. No one taught me how to do it. I learned by going to other mortgage companies, talking to them, seeing how they did it, following successful people in the industry, reading about it, learning all my programs. And I became a real expert in mortgage loans. But without focusing on key issues, I wouldn't have gotten very far. So the number 2 step today is to be able to focus on the key issues. And in my business, as in many others, one of the most important key issues you have to focus on is marketing. You can have the greatest product in the world. You can have the best mortgage program in the world. You can have the best cure for cancer in the world. But if no one knows about it, no one's going to buy it. So marketing is so important. I became an offline marketer, had great success on newspapers, missing child cards, radio, TV, you name it, I did. I even wrote, produced, and starred in my own 30-minute infomercial, which ran for years on TV, which is very successful. And I had to make these decisions, and I had to focus on making decisive decisions and learning how to make the right decisions. He who hesitates is lost. You can't steal in slow motion. When it comes time to make that decision, you have to be decisive. If you procrastinate, if you wait a couple days, if you let it go, if you come back to it weeks later, the opportunity could be gone. You know, someone in the world, in America, is making decisions every day and making decisive decisions to become successful. And that's something you have to do in your own business. Be decisive. When the time comes, make that decision. Sometimes it's the wrong decision, but every wrong decision is a learning process. If you fail, well, take it as a lesson that you can learn from, and to turn that into a positive success and right decision. Making right decisions become more prevalent after you learn that you made a wrong decision. So prepare, focus on key issues, and be decisive. That's our video for today. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope you come back for video number 3, where we'll talk about more of these techniques to overcome your fears, develop courage, and develop your wealth. I'll see you later. See you next time, and I'll see you at the top.